All right, here we go. The Frankenstank League show. Man, I got to get that down. The Frankenstank show. Um, we're back for 3 more monster cards. This time we're going to finally dig into a couple of the new ones for Frankenstank Season 6. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to reach out. This is going to be the wildest league you've ever been in. If you do know what I'm talking about and you don't recall seeing the last episode, go back and check it out. If I can still remember how to do those little links that pop up, I'll put it in like either right here or something. But I'm probably not even really gonna take the time to figure that out. So just go back and look. You want to succeed in Frankenstein, so you need to see what the rules are for each of these cards. And with the first episode, we did the Blob, Hannibal Lecter, and the Puppet Master, Andre Toulon. So I got Mark back with me. Hey, long time no see. Yeah, we recorded it like 5 minutes ago. So, but that's why
I don't wear the same shirt every day.
I do. So we're going to go over Tremors Graboid, Krampus, and the Living Dead. First one that is up right now is the Tremors Graboid. And again, if you sign up for Frankenstank, you're going to get this Google Doc or this Google Sheet that has all the rules for all the monster cards and what they can do to work with or against each other, etc., etc., etc. Tremors Graboid did not change. I don't think it changed at all, except maybe, well, we'll see. It says, just as the Graboids in the movie Tremors would shock their prey and rise from the ground out of nowhere for the kill, this card allows a card holder to get a free waiver addition to their team, helping them to change the face of their team out of nowhere. The card must be played by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday night to be played for the waiver run the following day. This card can be played twice throughout the Frank regular season. I think that's where I changed it. I think it was just one. Now you get it twice. Maybe it was twice. I don't really remember. But only for one player each of those 2 weeks. So you can't use this to pick up two players in the same week. Let's see. Once played, the commissioner will automatically force the waiver pickup before waivers even run to honor the card. That's why it's got to be played by Tuesday night. So any questions, comments on that one?
No, pretty straightforward. I think it's a useful card. I didn't see, there's no week limit on it, right? Doesn't have to be used by a certain week. So you could, I'm assuming like other cards, they die in the playoffs though. Can't use it during the playoffs.
All of the cards die before the playoffs start. Like they all die at the end of the regular season. The heroes live on. So if you lose those first couple weeks and you get a hero, heroes live on. Just like in the movies, the heroes get to live on, but the monsters all died at some point in the movie. So that's kind of the theory behind that rule.
Yeah. So you can really use it to retool right before the playoffs even start. If you end up blowing your limit on your vampire steals and are stuck without a quarterback or something, you can get the best of the bunch when you need it.
Yeah. Yep. Basically just helping out the teams that maybe start off slow. Krampus Clause. When you win, you can take a player from your opponent's starting lineup or their bench. So this is the vampire steal. If you win and you play this card, you can take a player from the starting lineup or the bench. And here's the reason why. Because he sees you when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake. So if your opponent, like if I'm trying to hide my best players, this happens in Frank because this is a vampire league. If I lose and if I know going into it against Mark that he's got a better team than me and he's going to beat me, maybe I put all my starters on my bench so that he can't steal them. All my best players are going to be on the bench. Well, in this case, he could just play his Krampus card and still go after my players on my bench. So you just can't hide them on your bench. So that was the whole thought process behind that card.
Gonna be honest, I think this card is it's pretty weak on its own. Right?
Oh wait, and you can use it twice in the regular Frankenstank season.
I think it's pretty weak on its own because if your opponent knows you have this card, they're not going to bench one of their players to protect them, which then makes them a stronger team going against you. So it kind of hurts you in that aspect. So, I mean, in most cases, outside, the only thing I can really see are like bye weeks. And again, you have to get lucky there that you're playing somebody who has a good player on a bye week that week to get it to be useful. So I think alone it's one of the weaker cards, but I could see some situations pairing it up with, say, like Jason Voorhees that doesn't allow stacks.
Yeah.
So they're forced to bench one of those good players.
That'd be a good
and then you could steal it.
Yeah.
I think there's ways you could beef up the card, but you got to have some weaker cards in the bunch, right? I mean,
right. Well, also my thought process on this was every year in Frank, we see this where it gets to a certain point in the season where guys have to make a business decision. You know, like we hear wide receivers say, I didn't reach out for that ball because I was making a business decision. Like I knew I was going to get my ass lit. So if I know I'm going to get my ass lit. So this helps prevent that. But also the teams that get frustrated with players benching their best players are the good teams. So this is a card where if you start off good, you're forcing them to play their players because you want them to play their players, because you want to steal their better players and keep getting better because you know you're going to beat them anyway. So this is a card where after you've played for 4 or 5 weeks and you have that one coveted card that we'll be discussing later where you can choose any card that wasn't drafted. This is one that's probably not going to be drafted, but after about 4 or 5 weeks, it might be one that seems kind of useful to you because nobody's starting their best players against you. So you can swap out that card for this card.
I mean, it's useful. I just don't think like you're not really going to use the card. It's going to be one of those cards that force actions, but you never use it.
100%. I agree. Yep.
So
it's a situational card. Yeah. And there are a handful of those for sure. And like I said in the last episode, like that's what I used Ghostbuster for too. I never actually used it, 100%. And I had it for 2 years, but I technically used it every week.
So yeah, I would argue this is more of a almost defensive card than anything.
Right. Yep.
You're never gonna you're outside of the lucky chance you get a bye week where they're not going to be starting a 0 in their lineup, but it's a good player. Then it could be useful to actually steal the player. But other than that, it's just going to force them to play them. And, you know, sometimes that's not always the greatest thing because sometimes you get wins because somebody's afraid they might lose, but they would have beat you.
Oh, we've seen that several times too.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. And I wasn't even thinking about that angle, but you mentioned like this could be a defensive card. You're going to notice that with a lot of these cards that they could have been used in several different categories. And some of them may not even seem like they fit in that category at all. It's just because I needed to get 12 in every category. And I was just making up rules and started shuffling them in. But yeah, that one definitely could have been defensive, but I had all kinds of ideas for defensive cards. Let's see, but Krampus, you know, the alter ego to Santa Claus. I had to make him a card.
See, what I would have did with it is Krampus is known for taking bad little children,
correct,
and dragging them away.
Yeah.
So what's a bad player? Somebody who maybe throws an interception or a fumble. You commit a bad act, and now you're eligible for a steal regardless if you win or lose.
Yeah, that would have been creative.
But no, you got to even it out. There's got to be powerful cards. There's got to be mid-tier cards. There's got to be lower level cards. I think it definitely has its purpose. And like I said, paired with other cards, it can be more powerful.
Right. Yeah, this isn't even the worst card. There's other ones. Let's see. The Living Dead. This one is basically based off of any zombie movie or zombie show that you've ever seen. The Walking Dead, Night of the Living Dead, whatever. It's the undead, the living dead, the zombies of these shows and movies. So zombies are the undead monsters of the apocalyptic world. After a person dies, they get a second chance at life. Sort of. So with this card, you hold, or let's say you had stolen a player with the vampire steal from an opponent, and then later on in the season, you decide that you wish you hadn't made that trade. We've also all done that in Frank, where we stole a player. 3 weeks later, something crazy happens, or they're not performing like we thought they would, or whatever. Like let's say Mark stole JJ McCarthy after week 4. He obviously wishes he had that back, right? So you can choose to play this card and make another forced trade with that same opponent. Now you must send back the same player that you originally stole from them. Even if it means you have to go back into the free agency to pick them back up, because maybe you dropped them, nobody else picked them up, and then you're thinking, okay, now maybe it's the time to use the card and go pick them up, or you just hold on to them long enough, say 2-3 weeks, whatever, and then you realize it was a mistake, or they get hurt and you want to trade them back, whatever. But if they are on another roster, then you can't do it. So if you had lost them or given them away in another vampire trade, then you can't go back and take this back. This player that you stole from them has to be on your roster. And the player you gave to them still has to be on their roster. But you then get to steal, or wait, yeah, no. The player you gave to them doesn't have to be on their roster, because you get to steal back a different player. That's right. That also started the week that you originally played them. So that's another twist to it. You got to go back to that week 3 matchup, or whenever it was, and look to see who they had in their starting lineup. And then as long as they're still on the roster, it doesn't have to be a starter at that point. If they started against you before, as long as they're still on their roster when you're ready to make this move again, then you can use this card to switch it up and switch back. So you can play this card once, and you must play it. Cannot play it after the last regular season game, obviously. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say on here, but I wanted this to be a multiple use card. So I think I'm going to say you can use it twice.
Really?
So, yeah. What do you think about this one?
I think this card, that card is super powerful. Multiple uses could be really scary.
So here's my thinking on why I thought it wasn't necessarily a super powerful card. Like, I do agree. And if that situation occurs, it's a super powerful card. Or if it's a card where you make the trade in week 3 and immediately regret it because week 4, the player you stole got hurt, then it can be a pretty powerful card. But if you wait long enough, if it's been 2, 3, 4 weeks, and CMC is still performing for you well, and you're doing great with him, and then he gets hurt and he's out for the season, and you want to switch it back, well, now you've got to hope that with their starting lineup, maybe they only have 3 guys left from that starting lineup. You're going to be limited on your options because they had other vampire steals along the way.
So say that again, their starting lineup. So it has to be a player from the week they started, they played against you?
Yeah, from the week they played against you.
So in week 9, say I stole a player from them in week 2. Then I want to do it in week 8, say. I have to go back and look at our matchup in week 2 and trade it for one of those players?
Only any of them they started against you in week 2.
Okay.
So there might only be a few options left, if any. So that's why I'm saying
it's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was.
It is a powerful call, but
I was going to say it cripples the person that loses to that team who owns that card, because I was thinking I play you, and week 1, I say I take Breece Hall or something like that.
Right.
That's your best player on your team at the time.
Gee,
you win in week 8 and steal Puka Nacua.
Oh, I see.
And then I can say, oh, well, I want that player. So now I've basically taken 2 of your best players throughout the season.
Right. Yeah, no, it's definitely not that. Oh, I should add into that the 2 plays have to be on a different team, because sometimes we do play the same team twice. Yeah. So I should probably do that too.
But I mean, that still does hurt a good team. So I think strategy-wise, you would want to use this on the team you beat later in the year.
Yeah, well,
a more powerful team.
I can definitely see both, but because like if you're using it on a more powerful team and say you still CD Lamb late in the season, well, you're not necessarily going to want to give him back CD Lamb unless CD gets hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not gonna be effective. What I'm seeing more would be that early in the season steal, and then the guy gets hurt and you regret it, or early in the season steal and that guy's not performing quite like you thought he would. Like I made a trade like 4 or 5 weeks ago in a league. I gave up an okay starter and 2 really good backups off of my bench. And between the 3 of them, they were all 3 starters on this guy's team that I gave them to. And he in return gave me Justin Jefferson. Even though I didn't believe in JJ McCarthy, I still thought he would at least do something. So I thought with that easy schedule with Justin Jefferson that it would be, easy going. So if this were Frank and I took Justin Jefferson and then now 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I'm like, God, I regret this. I'm going to give you back Justin Jefferson and I'm going to go take Rico Dowdle, even though he shouldn't be as good as Jefferson, but he's going to help my team out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Which I guess it couldn't be Rico because I don't know if did we word it in there if it's got to be position for position.
I didn't see position for position, and I don't think it should be because like you're already limiting the options with.
Yeah, that's true.
From that week, and
the retrade does not have to be,
and it counts towards your limit.
The retrade does not count towards your vampire steel limit because
you're getting one play. I like that better because you're getting one player.
Right.
I mean, if you took 2 spots for only one player, that's
right. And that could be another reason why you want to use this card. Maybe you just used your second quarterback steal 2 weeks ago, and then that quarterback got hurt. And now you need another quarterback. So now you can go back. You know what? I know CeeDee Lamb's doing really good, but this is my only way at getting a quarterback. So I'm going to trade him back to you so that I can get Dak, just so I have a second quarterback. So that can be another way to use the card. I like it. Yeah, see, this is why we're working this out.
I do think it can be very bad for the opponent.
Yes.
Like you lose CeeDee Lamb. So you're already hurting. You're losing games. Maybe you're losing games because you lose CeeDee Lamb, and then CeeDee Lamb gets hurt 3 weeks down the line, and now you have a nobody and lose another one of your good players.
Although we don't have to keep it at 1 because you can't use it on the same team twice. You're just screwing 2 teams, which is also, that's Frank. Yeah, we'll leave it at 2. I like it.
Okay.
Plus, I mean, huge fan of The Walking Dead here, so the zombie card's got to be pretty powerful. So I like it. All right, cool.
It's very powerful, I think. I think that's, especially with what you said with the limits, like using it to get yourself out of a hole. Like you stole 2 quarterbacks already. You need another one.
Yeah.
This is a huge way to get out of that hole because that can really screw you over if you end up with the wrong guys.
Which could then entice somebody else to use their Puppet Master card that we talked about on the last episode to come back in and take that quarterback back away from you.
So let me ask you this, though. It doesn't count towards your limits. Does it? So your original steal still counts towards your limits.
Yeah.
So if I took Josh Allen from you.
Correct.
And he gets hurt 2 weeks down the line.
Okay.
I want to give him back, but you don't have any other quarterback that was in your lineup or that is worthwhile to me.
Right.
So I take a running back instead. But now I'm still down a quarterback slot.
Correct. Yeah.
Without having one.
Yeah, see, we need to keep some strategy in there, so I'm going to leave that alone. I like that. All right. That leaves just enough level of frustration for you to have to make a decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you can see off here to the right, there are, now that we've gone over some of the cards, I can take a look. This says, like, let's say the Living Dead card and the Blob card are both in play between the two teams facing each other. It says if you own both cards, you cannot play them in the same week, affecting the same team. So basically, that's pretty self-explanatory. Silence of the Lamb, the Hannibal Lecter card, it says the trade from Hannibal is considered a vampire steal, so you may still use this card after the counter, or use this card after to counter the trade. Keep in mind, you are only sending back the original player. Okay, so this is saying the Hannibal Lecter card is considered the vampire steal. So then I don't really know what I was thinking there. I'm even confusing myself on this. I'll clear that up. I'll make it make a little bit more sense when I figure it out later, but you get the basic idea. And then if you have questions on these when you read them, just reach out to me. Again, at Funday Draft on Blue Sky or fundaydraft@gmail.com with any questions, or in the comment section, because we will be going back to check the YouTube comments to keep up on answering any of those questions as well. Yeah, Mark, another fun one. I promise I'll leave you alone for the rest of the night so you can get ready to watch this Monday Night Football game. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
No, I'm a little excited for the next card, though, I see on the list.
Oh, what do we
got?
No
chance. That's what you've got. No chance in hell.
So I reached out to George and asked him to help me find one really good bad guy from the WWF, WWE, whatever professional wrestling scene. And he sent me two and said he couldn't decide. So I threw them both in here. So we also have Hulk Hogan in here later on, since he was very consistently a heel as well.
Hulk Hogan wasn't, though. George is wrong there.
No, I don't know, because I was only a wrestling fan for a few years, and I remember him being a heel quite often.
Well, Hulk Hogan is known for one of the greatest heel turns ever because he was always the baby face. Like, he was the biggest baby face ever in WWF. And then when he turned on Macho Man in WCW to start the NWO, that's when he became a heel. But it was towards the end.
But isn't that a pretty monumental?
Oh, it was one of the greatest heel turns ever. But to say Hulk Hogan is one of the biggest heels ever, I think is crazy, because he's the biggest baby face there ever was in wrestling.
So yeah, the next show we're gonna have Vince McMahon. We're gonna have Squid Games, which I'm not gonna pretend like I know how to pronounce the guy's name from Squid Games that won it, and then Donald Trump will be the third monster on the next show. So
do I have to do that show alone? Are you gonna show up, or?
No, I'll be there because it's an opportunity for me to throw some shots. But those are all under transaction cards. So, of course, Donald Trump would be under the transaction list. But so Vince McMahon, Squid Games, Donald Trump, basically all of these are going to have to do with your money, your fab money, more than anything. So, yeah, that's the next episode. Who knows when we're going to do it? Or if I can maybe get some of the other guys from the team to join us or hop on or whatever, but we'll sort it out. But in the meantime, I'm going to make a playlist of these episodes so you guys go back, watch the episodes and then you can even just look for your particular card if you want, or what have you. So yeah, that's it. Y'all have a great day.